Welcome to another episode of the 1 Minute Pedal podcast from NotPedals.com. Thanks for joining us. This week I am chatting with Eddie from Rifkind Effects. Eddie's a real mainstay in the music industry, guitar effects, and activism too. So we chat about a lot of stuff. The whole conversation goes for about 30 minutes. Well worth listening to. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy. Eddie, thanks heaps for joining us today.
It's great to be here.
I ask everyone at the start of every episode, tell me about Eddie Riffkind, how you started with pedals, how the business started. Fill me in.
Oh, man. It started out as a midlife renaissance. I've been playing guitar since I was 19, but I was completely indifferent to gear. I was just like, I had a multi-effects unit, and I was just like, I pay for it. I push the button. It does what I pay it to do. Music. Like I was the consummate consumer, the end user. And so one day I saw a demo of a fuzz pedal, and something about the way it was put together got into my brain, my artistic brain, and immediately I connected. And so where I was totally indifferent, suddenly I was completely fascinated by the details of designing a tone and vintage circuits. I felt like a kid again. I was really trying to learn something new.
It's a big jump from like the nameless, faceless multi-effects to going, oh, I care about that pedal.
It is. In a way, it's regressing, because now technology is so powerful. It can replicate the musician, not just the signal chain, but like this is really about like the interface and the particulars of what you're building and how you get your hands and feet on it. Like that to me is what pedal design is about. And that's what got me into it.
As a builder, do you think about that interaction between what you build and the musician, depending on how you build your stuff and how you present it? How does that factor into it?
I hope that I can convey my sense of like excitement into the stuff that I do. I love to treat it like the kind of toys I myself would want. But I think that's an interesting question. Like, I think that everything about the interface and the design and the physical design affects the creativity of the player. I mean, if you mess with your pedal, then I want that interface to be something that matters while you're playing. Like, I love Andy demos. I love how this guy always like rolls tones down with his feet, very casually, makes it look natural. I love that. Like, so I do think it's about getting people to mess with the controls.
Are you talking about mess with controls to do something new, like their own thing?
Oh, yeah. And I encourage that. Like, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with physical hardware. And I think people should keep jerry-rigging their stuff, wiring it up, doing all kinds of crazy signal paths. I want that encouraged. And yeah, again, for me, it's also the same kind of interest I see in modular setups, with all the patching and modular synthesis. It's about that physical aspect of creativity. I think about that a lot when I think like where the foot switches go. I want things to feel very easy to navigate. I think about like multiple foot switch activations at the same time. I always try to think about just the little details of actually having these on your floorboard.
I've always gotten the sense from the chats we've had, and also the gear that you make, that you're really pragmatic about people running with it, rather than being like super precious about like, this is what I do, therefore you need to use that. Like,
oh God.
you want people like you have this energy about you where you want people to like take it and do something, like run with it, fuck it up, do whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. I only want to encourage people's creativity. And that, if that means breaking my rules and or my equipment.
I mean, it's music, isn't it? We're meant to.
It's music. It's art and it's music. It's the best thing on earth, man.
Let me jump back a little bit. Did you grow up playing, like, were you in bands or just playing in your bedroom? Like, tell me a little bit about your formative years in music, if you can.
It's funny. I was kind of a late bloomer. I was an artist all my life, and I went to art college. And I picked up guitar right when I started going to art college, which means years of torture for my roommates. Uh, and a lot of people my age playing circles around me when I was just getting started. But I really got into it. I remember there was this guy named Eric in high school, and I watched him play once. He was one of these people that had real shredding technique.
Yeah.
And again, in my mind, the mechanics of that kind of got me curious. I'm like, this is possible. Like, he's doing some shit there, and I will learn it. So things like that propelled me forward. Unfortunately, I also did that really goofy thing where you reject musical technique. This was when grunge was like shoving hair metal out of the way, and all the artists that I was surrounded by were like, "Oh, you have to play with feeling." Like, Yngwie doesn't have feeling. And I didn't have a whole lot of technical people around me, so they just basically encouraged me to continue being a hack.
Yep.
No practice, no technique, no theory. And that's where my ego has been until like about 2018 when I got into guitar pedals. Now I'm starting to teach myself to relearn guitar from scratch as well. So it's like you start to learn one thing, it seems like everything is on the table in the best possible.
Yeah, that's nice though, because I think it's good to have a grounding in, not that it's bad, it's not inherently bad to have a grounding in like theory or the more sort of rudimentary classic sort of side of guitar. Where I grew up with like a teacher playing, like learning fucking scales and reading music and stuff like that. But I think there's something really good about coming to it, getting your foundation being a bit more independent, I guess, of everything else. You can always come to it and learn more.
It's true. And at some point when my when what I could do became unsatisfying, that's when I wanted to learn more. I think that's the most natural way, when you really just want to move forward and you're willing to bend yourself and challenge yourself, because what you want is like actually motivating you.
Yeah, and there is a language there that's the cool thing about music. I know I'm stating the fucking obvious here, but there's an international language that like you can learn, you can sort of dip your toe into as much as you want, or you completely dive in and talk to people in the same way that they'll talk to you. Like, it's
without a doubt.
Okay, cool. So were there bands? Were you playing did you make that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I got into some college bands. I got into some weird goth and metal bands. I used to live in Baltimore, which is a big and a tiny, tiny place. It's one of those places where, like, I hear about the Baltimore Pedal Show, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I used to work across the street from that. Like, it's so small. But the music scene there has always had a wonderful sort of personality. And I did get into a bunch of college bands, and I played some terrible, terrible music. And I'm really glad. And I've been compulsively playing music ever since. And I've been in bands. I think the last time I was in a band was 2010. So I was doing it for a while. And even then I played a couple of gigs after that, without bands, like helping people out on guitar or doing some goofy last minute show, or and also here in San Francisco, there's an insane drag community.
Yeah.
And that is a huge place to cross over with musicians and other stage performers. So you're going to find a lot of use for music and musicians in every part of stagecraft, actually, in the drag scene. It's pretty badass. There are a lot of great, like, traditional bands as well, which I've discovered since building pedals. Phenomenal punk rock and experimental music scene here. Pretty much every kind of music scene. This is a good town. This is a good town for that.
Going from music to the pedals, like, so
yes.
When did you first build a pedal?
2019, and boy, it was a mess. So let me tell you, like, the video. All right. So I told you the demo that I saw that got me into pedals. That was done by somebody that designed a line of pedals and has a little website where he kind of walks you through how to build it. And he really conveys his personal like interest and passion and love for it. And I think like learning from that really helps keep your head in the game and keep you interested in. And that guy is Joe Gore, by the way. He's well known and among musicians. He's been like a stage and recording musician with like, well, I don't know, Tom Waits, Tracy Chapman, PJ Harvey. Like the one time I saw him, he lives in San Francisco, and one time I saw him, he was playing with Jane Weedland, the guitar player from the Go-Go's. So really legendary musicians. But in all that aside, he's also got this little pedal thing. If you go to tonefiend.com, I think is what it is, it's a really old site, but the content is pure gold.
So is that pretty formative for you in the sense of going, I use pedals, or I'm interested in pedals, to, oh shit, I can do this.
Yes, it was extremely close, and I love that connection too. Like in a way, I started to feel this connection between shaping my tone as a musician and like diving into the guts of the hardware and shaping my tone. Like that, they just became connected. It felt a lot more natural. I started to think about like, you know, where all this started, like the engineer that was touring with Jimi Hendrix, you know, rigging things up for him. It's like been kind of a natural connection the whole time. And I'm really sorry that I wrote them off for so long.
We got plenty of time to right those wrongs, you do. I mean, now look, you've got 5 models, I think, listed on NotPedals at the moment. You've got such a strong and definite and unique voice as far as like just stylistically and like design wise, the names of the pedals, the designs, and the sort of the stories behind them that you write in the descriptions and everything is so strong. Where did this come from? The Klaren, the Can fill us in, anyone who's maybe not seen the listings before or is curious about it.
Okay, so there was a point in 2020 where I decided the humor was coming out of me, and I was looking for subtle things like incorporating graphic design or pop art or other commercial images into pedal design. I thought it would be cute. Like I did a Wrigley Spearmint designed Green Russian Big Muff, you know, cute little things like that. And so and at the same time, there were all these Karen jokes going around. It was like you couldn't escape it. It was the pandemic. Like everybody's bad behavior was on full display, and we had nothing better to do but to sit home and watch it. And so I was saturated with Karen news, and you know, there are news commentary programs like I Wish a Karen Would. There's like so much out there. I really just rode one tiny little drop of this wave. I decided to go for an Electra distortion, which was one of the first circuits that I learned to build. And I saw that there was a clone of a pedal called the Speaker Cranker. And for some reason, those words collided in my brain with, I want to speak to the manager.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. The Karen speaker manager? I mean, isn't that what these preamps do? They're speaker managers. And I just kind of like let that sit there. And it was just like one of those subtle grandpa jokes. Like, you get it? You get it? And apparently people got it a lot more than I expected.
Yeah, I think, you summed it up. Like it's got if anyone hasn't seen the listing, go to NotPedals and search Karen speaker. But like, it's got I think one of the controls, and one of the first things I saw about it was the "Don't use that tone with me" switch.
That's right.
On the pedal, and it's got the haircut. It's great. I think you've just clued into something that we all, especially at the time, were like deeply surrounded by. And instantly understood the bring me the manager, everything.
I have to really give credit to a lot of the people that responded to this, because they have pushed me to go further. Like the Klaren, when I designed the Klon parody, I didn't have a circuit for it. And another great builder, Adam Verity, AV Pedals, was really kind of vibing with these obnoxious Karen jokes. And so we were talking about it, and he said that he had kind of an original take on Klaren circuit, which is what the Klaren became. Yep. And so I licensed the circuit from him. But when I did, he packed the PCB of the full-size one with all kinds of Karen jokes. Like, he was really, I could see this growing naturally beyond me just like, nudging somebody. And I feel that's what most of it has been. Most of what has happened afterward has been the synergy with other people that, have been talking to me, and we've had these hilarious conversations.
Yeah, there's a theme of yours I'm sensing of collaboration, being affected by the people that you work with or that you interact with, and having that, letting that come through.
Without a doubt. There's a great deal of humility. I'm a very weird, self-taught, undisciplined person. So, like, math still causes my eye to twitch.
The work you did with AV pedals, like particularly with the Klaren, like you could have just done another clone of a clone and been like, that's it. But I think you jammed in like some different stages in there, from like the King of, like taking keys from like the King of Tone and like changing that. You've come up with something new of that mythos, like mythological kind of pedal, which I love.
I felt like it has to be more than a joke. And it also has to be more than a joke on a pedal people can get for cheap somewhere else. It has to stand on its own. Like, there has to be a point to somebody actually putting it on their pedal board and using it. And that has always been my standard. That's why I've always been pushing myself to create something a little different with each circuit. I've seen a lot, and I really feel kind of envious from people that build just a ton of standard rack clones, throw them on reverb, make a lot of quick money. Mm. I guess I can do that if I have to, but yeah, there are tons of people that are doing that, and God bless them. But like, yeah, I want there to be a point to what I'm doing that is a little bit unique.
Now, speaking of a point to what you're doing, is probably a good fucking segue into pedals for Gaza, something you've been running for quite a while now. Give us an overview of what Pedals for Gaza is.
Pedals for Gaza is an effort that I started to raise money directly to benefit people in Gaza that are starving and that need emergency sustenance. I started it right around the election, and yes, this has to do with the fact that both major parties pretty much were hand in hand about what to do about Israel, which is continue the genocide. Yeah. I knew that voting was virtually useless to stop this. I had to go in and just try to do something as one human being to another to actually help people, because that's the opposite of this, like, I'm going to vote and then I'm going to go to Starbucks and live my life. It's a fundraising effort that I do where I've invited the entire music industry to basically donate their gear. I started with builders, but honestly, this is for anybody. If you have a studio and you want to get rid of some gear, and you can write off every cent, but it goes directly to either Middle East Children's Alliance Emergency Fund, which is a place that runs emergency services in Gaza right now, or to a number of families that have contacted me directly since I started fundraising. And that is the straightest line. You send money to people in Gaza so they can buy food. And it's crazy, but that's the situation we're in. And this is the kind of direct action we can do. One person can do this for a couple of people, like I'm doing. And that's why I've invited the entire music industry to throw in and do this for real, and to add visibility and unity. Because right now, we're all being asked to donate as individuals from 1,000 different places, and that gets demoralized.
So you've created a way for the whole industry to have one sort of. This is open to pedal manufacturers, the big ones, the small ones, people selling shit on Reverb who want to shave off 5% of whatever they sell and give it, And
that's kind of the idea that I'm trying to get through. The Pedals for Gaza page is specifically meant so that you can tag other people as a collaborator, and then both of your audiences will see the post and will contribute and will purchase. And that's really been working out. Visibility, it's been absolutely massive.
And look, you've had, pure empathy aside, there's some fucking sweet pedals. There's been some really good stuff on there, not just from you, but like collaborators who have jumped in to put their fucking skin in the game. I think Death by Audio have done. I've seen them pop up. Like, who's the who's doing it with you? Like, who's chucked in stuff? Who's like?
I'm not finished, but I feel like I'm reaching out to every single pedal builder I know, and messaging them and telling them the same thing and inviting them. Some have questions, some are skeptical, some feel pressure, like probably socio-political pressure. But some are jumping in very enthusiastically. Death by Audio did a phenomenal one, and it got a lot of attention. And so they're a good company, man. Yeah. Even though we didn't do a public post, I got Chase Bliss to donate the sales from one of their pedals. There are some really, really cool things. Let me pull this one up right here. Sentimental Audio Devices, a new company, and this is two of the ones that just got sold. These incredible designs, and they're built in Europe, and they actually ship from Europe. So you buy it, I donate the money, I tell Kim, he ships you the pedal.
Yeah.
I can do it that way. People can send me pedals, and I will photograph them and list them. Or they can do everything and just tag Pedals for Gaza for the visibility, which immediately gets those results. That's what Death by Audio did.
Well, huge shout out to Death by Audio, Chase Bliss as well for doing that. The other smaller builders as well who are clearly getting involved and like either collaborating with you, which I've seen some really cool stuff, or just giving proceeds or giving pedals, donating pedals. If you can help out just a little bit with a pedal or a whatever, where's the best place is there a spot that people can go just to easily find what you're doing? I think there's something on your Insta.
I have an Instagram page. It is called Pedals for Gaza, all lowercase. And it's also linked from my Eddie Riffkind account. I share both of those things, but Pedals for Gaza on Instagram. That is right now the place to go. And honestly, I want to say that even though I mentioned those builders, there are a lot of amazing builders and they all really deserve a shout out. And I don't have a full list. And I just want to say, you guys know who you are. You're fucking heroes. You're my heroes, and you're heroes to people like Shahab and her 6 children, who I communicate regularly with, and who I set up a fundraising page for. This money is going to keep them alive. It's quite literally doing that.
Yeah, it's such a basic, simple thing that you're doing at the end of the day as far as the outcome of it. And it's very direct, and it's very life and death.
Politics is paralyzing, especially the way the news pumps it out. This is the opposite. This is like if you see somebody in crisis, you walk over and help them. This is as close as I can physically get without sailing to Gaza.
Well, that's something that I hope everyone who listens to this at least explores and has a look at. You have been busy, which is an understatement. What have you been building? What have you got going on? What have you got coming up?
Well, I am building a new series of Klaren Basics with I'll show you one. The knobs aren't on, but it has this lovely Roman gold finish for the next batch.
Yes.
This is on pre-order, and these are going to be done real soon. And we're selling them through NotPedals.
I love that. And anyone who's listening, obviously, you can go and look at the Klaren Basic on NotPedals. It's the highly unprofessional overdrive. Tell us a little bit about this pedal.
Okay, so the design is a Klein and KTR parody. And I was really happy with that art. I wanted this to be kind of a useful and unique version of the circuit. So it does have a slightly different voicing for the gain stage. So it's not exactly like a Klon, but it's basically a Klon. And also it splits the clean and the distortion into separate knobs, which is the big thing on a Centaur and the KTR. you've got a dual gang knob and it's voiced to turn both up at the same time. It's beautiful, but this gives you a lot of room in between to craft a different sound, because you can do this fat internal clean boost, which is phenomenal for bass, or you can turn up the diode clipping separately.
It's becoming quite popular with the guitarists and the bass players alike. It's a limited batch you're sort of building at the moment, isn't it?
That's right.
So we're going to, by the time this episode comes out, we're going to put it up on NotPedals with a limited number. And as soon as they're gone, that will come down.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure we're kind of doing this for the first time with Eddie. And I think it's a really good opportunity for people to get their hands on this pedal.
I'm very proud of it.
That'll be happening this week. Check out the listing on notpedals.com. Now, as we sort of wrap things up, I always ask people if they want to do a shout out to anything, a recommendation, another pedal builder, a cause, a film they've seen recently, anything, to put you on the spot. I never warn people about it. Is there anything, is there someone or something you want to shout out or recommend people see or read or play or listen to or whatever?
Okay, Andor. That is the last good Star Wars content out there. It's phenomenal. And the name of the show is not a planet, it's the guy's last name. Phenomenal show. Andor, great writing, genius acting, all the good ingredients. And it had this insane budget. They just didn't care. They're like, we want 3 times the budget of the other ones. Andor, baby.
Deep writing.
Oh my God. Phenomenal. Dear God. Yeah, that and the film it's a prequel to, which was incredible. Despite the questionable CGI at the end. Seriously, I was willing to forgive that because of how good the rest of the movie was. But that's just me. So there you go.
That's a great shout out, actually. It's nice. Everyone else usually just shouts out another builder, and I'm glad someone's shouted out some media or content that they've been enjoying. That's cool.
Well, now all the other builders are going to be like, well, thanks for lack of shout out, pal. Oh my God. No, this is a community of amazing builders. I fucking love you all. Thank you all for your collaboration and for your support.
I think you're a real connector, Eddie. I think you really bring people together. I've noticed that since the first time I started seeing your stuff. You are a really big part of bringing the community together. I think we'll really appreciate that. Well done on everything you're doing. And aside from all of that, just making sweet pedals as well. Somehow finding the time to make really high quality original pedals that people are starting to really take up and love.
Thank you, my friend. And thank you for everything you do with NotPedals. You are bringing these things to the world. And that means a hell of a lot.
Appreciate it. I guess we'll wrap it up and say bye for now.
For now.
And thanks for joining us, Eddie.
My pleasure, Alex.
The great Eddie Riffkind. What a cool conversation that was. Go to Pedals for Gaza on Instagram. Help out if you can. Thanks, Eddie, for taking the time out of your evening to talk with me. As always, you can find Eddie Rifkind's effects on notpedals.com with free shipping. We'll be back soon with another episode. Take it easy.